That's where all the money starts happening. That's when all the big checks start coming every week. How would you like to get a check every week for $2,000? Let's not count your residual. Let's not count everything else. Let's not count your star bonus pool. Let's not count your car allowance. Let's not count all that. Let's just count on just your straight checks for enrolling people that enroll people that you get every single week. You realize you could create a $2,000 check? It's so crazy. When I first came into business, just based on these TDIs and first order bonuses, for at least 3.5 months, my TDI checks and my first order bonuses on Monday mornings were no less than $2,000. And people are like, how long you been in? I said, dude, I'm just enrolling people. And we're getting them to stars. And now that I'm a supervisor, I'm making $155 when I enroll you. And then I go out and do a Java party, get you to star. You bring in 4 people, 4 times 55. I get that the same week on Monday. And they're like, really? And then so I start drawing it out. When I do these compensation plan trainings for my group, I draw it out. I let them see it in the numbers. I literally will map it out and say, okay, girl, how much do you want to make this week? How much do you want to make this week? I need to make $8,000. I want to get out of my job. Perfect. If $8,000 is the goal, let me show you how to get there. Supervisors, where you got to be at the end of this month. Why? Because this is why. $155 on everybody that you enroll. $55 on everybody in your downline, infinite levels. You get paid that every single Monday. And if you keep enrolling and enroll 2 people a week, you're making $310. If those 10 people each enroll 10 this week, 55 times 10 is still going to pay that week. Does that make sense? What we do is we dream build with them. Just like dream building with everything else. We dream build with this, and we show them how they're going to get paid. This right here is unbelievable because now as a director, I can go out and do the exact same thing I did on October 15th when I came into business. I've only talked to 20-some people. How many people do you have? That's why you should have a list all the time. Don't assume that someone loves it or won't love it. Right now, if I go out and enroll someone, and that's what we've been doing, I try to lead by example with my organization. If I tell you I'm going to do it, then you should do it. I'll never tell you to do something that I'm not going to do. So I go out every single week and try to enroll a couple people, because that's $195 per person. 2 people a week, I can make $400 a week on just what I'm doing, not counting the hundreds of people we have in our organization. Are you serious? You can go out and do this. The diamonds can create all kinds of money. $200 per person, $100 on everyone that comes in. You wait till we hit diamond. I'm going to front line like crazy all the time, all day, because it's $100 on every single person that comes in. Are you kidding me? I can pay my mortgage in a week by enrolling 10 people. Does that mean it's unbelievable? So you got to understand these TDIs. You got to get your people trapped into a vision of where they want to go, but you don't know where they want to go if you don't know how much they want to make. How much do they want to make? Use that to determine where they need to go. Does that make sense? That's where the activity comes in. Activity leads to production, but if you don't know what you need to do to get to your production goal, you'll never know. This right here is unbelievable. Right? And then obviously you guys know infinite levels. Infinite? You know what infinite is? My last company I was with, I was over 70 levels deep. And because of the comp plan, I got cut off a lot, which many of you know what I'm talking about. You know, it's like severing your leg and it bleeds and you try to get the other one patched up and it bleeds there. Your wife's wondering why you're pale. Right? You can continually build. That's the beauty of this business. Okay? Car bonus, obviously you guys know this, right? I truly believe that every single one of us needs to get a BMW, and it's so funny. For those of you that have never done direct sales before, I know there's so many superstars in here that have never done it, which boggles my mind. I'm sure it boggles many of the Diamonds' minds that you guys are hitting top positions. Like Miss Joanne, we were just talking to her earlier, and she's like, oh, I hit Diamonds in 13 months. I've never done network marketing before. Really? Oh. You're having it hard. Yeah, right? But I was always told, and I'm going to explain this part real quick, that I was always told in my other company that car programs were no good. That car programs were no good because you had to buy or lease the car yourself, and then if you didn't maintain position, you couldn't get that check no more. Who cares? You know why? Because in my last company, whether I got to the position or not, I still had to pay my payment for my Lexus anyways. But I had to take the money that I made to pay for my Lexus. At least this comes from a completely separate fund. Does that make sense? Yeah. So, who cares? Who cares if I fall out of position? Because if I fall out of position in my last company, I'm not going to make any money anyways. And I still got to pay my Lexus payment, right? So I would tell you, each and every one of you, use it as motivation. Get the BMW. It's so crazy. This is the game. You're playing a game right now. And if you have the BMW, yeah, you may not want it, but you know what it does? It builds hope, motivation. It inspires people to say, wow, you've been in 30 days and you're driving a BMW, you don't have your Honda no more? Right? It motivates you to get to work every day, to maintain the position. Every single one of us in this room are leaders. You have people depending on you. You have people that are looking up to you, that are inspired by you, and they may never walk up to you. And they see you pull up, and it's so crazy. I pull up to my BMW, they like think it's crazy. They're like, oh my gosh, you have a BMW. I'm like, okay, but I had a Lexus before, and we didn't get all excited. They're like, but the company pays for that. I'm like, yeah, it is kind of crazy, you know, out of pocket I pay like $75 a month. They're like, what? I'm like, yeah, we qualified for like 14 days, but you know, I couldn't buy it because we were busy building, so I only got half of it, but you know, use the other $300 for my Lexus payment. But we encourage our members, when you hit the position, get the BMW. Inspire. Inspire. Okay? Manager director bonus, this is my favorite bonus out of all bonuses, out of all 12 ways, until I hit diamond. So this bonus here, here's the crazy part. I sit down with Dr. Chi, he kind of goes through this. I'm like, okay, that's cool. I love Dr. Chi. He didn't explain this part right. Here's what he said. Yeah, manager director. You're a manager director. You enroll a supervisor. You get 1 share. Manager 2 shares. Director 3 shares. I'm like, okay, cool. I go back home. We hit supervisor right away. We promote supervisors right away. And then I looked at this and go, dang. I told my wife, man, we hit manager. Gosh, you know, a lot of these guys hit supervisor already. We're not going to get this yet because, you know, we're already supervisors and they're supervisors. So I think we have to hit manager, then enroll them, and then we get the shares. I think that's how it works. So we went from supervisor, we jumped to director, and then at director, my next residual check on the 18th of the month, I get it, I look at my check, and I'm like, oh, it's like $1,800 more. I'm like, could Stan really miss payment? I was like, you gotta have some integrity though, you gotta tell him. Like, 1,800 to 400, maybe let's slide, but 1,800 is a lot. And then I look at my statement, and it says like, supervisor, manager, bonus, shares, and it says like, 4 shares. I'm like, what? I'm like, so you're telling me that I could be a turtle? I could build real slow, I could have 2 managers in my business, and then the moment I hit manager, I get 4 shares. And my residual jumps. And these leaders that are managers, if they maintain manager every single month, my residual stays constant for long periods of time because they're at my position. I was like, oh my gosh. And I can bring in as many people as I want and enroll them and get them a supervisor and get 1 share for every person I get to supervisor. There's some motivation, right? This right here, ladies and gentlemen, you can make a ton of money. And if you're making a ton of money in this, you ain't going to stay here long. Because if you're making a ton of money in this, you can't help but hit diamond. And a diamond is where the fun really begins, right? So here, right, I'm looking at Chris because Chris hit diamond. Yeah. He's like, yeah. He's like, yeah. So, but 1% of local monthly commissionable volume. What does that mean? 1% of 4.5 million split amongst directors and managers for you helping as many people as possible. Let's talk a little future here. 1% of 4.5 million sounds good. 1% of 10 million sounds better. 1% of 20 million sounds even better. 10 years from now, what if you had 13 or 14 or 100 directors all participating in this? You think you could be a pretty stable diamond for a long period of time? We got something magical here, folks. You just have to understand this. Once you understand this, you'll be so jacked out of your mind. And when your team understands it, they'll be jacked out of their mind. Right?